Okay, so before I do the introductions for our panelists here, I'd like to actually make a pretty, what I think is a striking observation. It was striking to me, at least. So last year, you probably guys are familiar with the research company Berg Insight that does a lot of research around IoT and telematics. So about a year ago, they came out with this report called Global Vehicle Telematics Hardware Market. And that was, I think, the first report of its kind. So the Berg Insight kind of separated the telematics hardware market into two buckets. One is the OEM-enabled telematics, so whatever the hardware that goes in the vehicles during the production. And then the second is the aftermarket. So all these companies represent aftermarket telematics space. So the estimate was that as of last year, the size of the aftermarket telematics market is about 2 billion euros per year. And a very interesting thing is that all these companies that are present with us today were mentioned among the top manufacturers in the aftermarket telematics space. Not only that, if you look at all the connections of device connections to flespi today, so as you know, we integrate with a lot of protocols. 140 is actually the exact number of the protocols that we have for ingestion. But between Teltonika, Ruptela, Queclink, and Jimi, 53% of devices, 53% of devices currently connected to flespi are on those 4 protocols. Howen is in the separate category. They specialized in video telematics. But just wanted to kind of highlight that, and that is actually very representative of the market share that these companies have currently. So, you know, according again to the estimate in the report, it's somewhere between 50 to 60% of the aftermarket device market share that this companies control. So we're very happy to have you guys with us today. Thanks again for joining the conference, and now I will go through the introductions. So the first panelist to the left from me is Jose Serrano. Jose is the account manager and business development manager for the Americas region at Jimi, also known as Concox. Jimi is an IoT device manufacturer that supplies more than 10 million devices annually to more than 150 countries. Jimi's focus is on GPS-based solutions such as asset trackers, fleet trackers, dash cams. Jose joined Jimi early this year, and he's based in company's headquarters in Shenzhen, China. And Jose helps with all aspects of Jimi's sales and operations in America, especially LATAM. Welcome, Jose.
Thank you, Sergey, so much, and flespi for inviting us today.
Absolutely, thank you for being here. Next is Leon Zhu. Leon is a product director at Howen Technologies. Leon has been with Howen for 9 years. He focuses on the market needs to deliver the most competitive and suitable solutions to customers and partners. Howen has been focusing on video telematics products for the last 10 years. Their video solutions are installed in over 600,000 vehicles across over 100 plus countries. The principle is to be customer-centric, and they're inspired by their mission to safeguard drivers and fleets globally. Welcome, Leon.
Thank you, Sergey.
Next is Marius Slavinskas. Marius is the devices portfolio manager at Teltonika Telematics. With over 12 years at the company, Marius shapes strategic roadmaps, enables the team to create innovative products, and adapts existing products to various real-world use cases. As part of that, he helps optimize ROI and maintain versatility. Teltonika Telematics is a global hardware manufacturer specializing in advanced solutions for vehicle telematics and IoT applications. Ranked first in the device connections within the WLAN community and in new device connections to flespi recently. Marius, welcome.
Thank you very much for the invite.
Mindaugas Pranaitis is a product owner at Ruptela. He is responsible for the advanced GPS trackers, developments, improvements, and maintenance. Mindaugas has a technical background, has been working in Ruptela for over 5 years. Ruptela is a global telematics company that develops high-quality GPS tracking devices with the vision to power up the most efficient use of transport for a sustainable world. Recently, Ruptela became a part of the holding company called Ruptela Group. Welcome, Mindaugas.
Hello, thanks for having me here.
And last but not least is Ivan Jerković, International Sales Manager with Queclink. Ivan has been with Queclink for 3 years, but in the telematics industry and telematics and IoT industry for over a decade. Prior to Queclink, he worked in different roles at a TSP, telematics service provider company, starting with support and advancing through sales, key account management, and ultimately to CEO of the company. Queclink has been in business for over 14 years and are a long-time hardware partner for Gertem. They now have 550 employees worldwide, and collectively they shipped over 52 million devices over the years. Interesting fact, Queclink is one of the very few telematics hardware companies which are listed on the public stock exchange. Welcome, Ivan.
Thank you, Sergey.
Okay, so with that, we'll dive into questions. So we just listened to Alexey introducing a new video capability on flespi. So I'll start with the video question. So with the announcement we just made, so I think almost all of you guys have either a video product or video enabling product. So the question that I have is that with aftermarket video gradually gaining momentum for probably about a decade now, do you guys look at video as more of a niche product, or do you see the future where video is really an integral part of any telematics solution sale? And I'd like to ask Leon to answer first, since Leon and Howen focus on video specifically.
Thank you, Sergey. For sure, actually, in our point of view, the video is becoming a more and more important and inseparable part of telematics. 10 years ago, it can be, say, a niche market, but now it is already an integral part. Just like Alexey already said, why you charge it free for functionality of video, because he believed that the video is the future. Actually, from the very first day that Howen established it, we believed that the video would be the future. And in the past decade, we have seen very fast growth of video telematics, and this has been proven by our growth and our partners' growth. So because we think that the video can provide real values for the customers. Firstly, in the past decades, the market demand is there. The market always calls for the safety and the security, no matter it is for the prevention, for theft, for the vandalism, for the accidents, and now becoming more and more popular, the driver coaching and the training. So the market demand is always there. And secondly, we think that the technologies make it happen, make it possible and easier to use the video. First is the connectivity. When we introduced our successful case in 2017 in Howen conference, 6 years ago, the project was done by 3G, WCDMA. And now the 4G is already available cheaper and very, very easily. So the connectivity is there. And secondly, like Alexey already shared, why he insisted that the edge processing of AI must be the one of the very key for an ideal video solutions. Because in our perspective, the video is kind of natural data. It is very hard to spend 1 hour to retrieve the very useful 10 seconds from 20 hours of recording. But now the edge processing, the artificial intelligence, deep learning technology make it possible to convert this natural data to a kind of, we call it structured data. So when it comes to structured data, it is much, much lighter and much, much easily to be stored, to be processed, to be retrieved. And we can see a lot of interesting applications can be used. And there is a lot of imagination, very big imagination space for it, to how to utilize this data. We can do a lot of fusion with this data. For example, in South Africa, previously we think that the South Africa only provide for the tracker for stolen vehicle recovery. And in South Africa, in one car, there might be 2 or 3 trackers just for prevention from stolen. But now they are considering to add a dash cam to learn from the driver's behavior, to reduce the insurance premium. This is what they are doing. And even in UK and in Europe, for example, in Europe, when we were in Italy, Rome, last week, when I tried to take selfie videos in the entrance of the subway, a citizen come to stop me. You need to, you can take photos in the entrance of a subway. People here in Europe always care about the privacy. But even though we have seen that in UK and Europe, all the buses and trucks, they are requiring for the video-based pedestrian detection in the next coming 1 or 2 years. So this is will become more and more mandatory based on the video technology. And lastly, we would also want to add that just like the previous presentation by Alexei, an affordable solution is a good solution. Actually, until now, not all the telematics industry solutions are by the video telematics, and most of them is the concern of cost. And speaking of cost, we think of 2 ways. One is the upfront cost of the investment of the hardware itself. So we keep releasing more and more economical devices. And secondly is the operation cost. We had a very interesting discussion with our partner last night. Our partner told me that in Latvia or in Germany, it may cost 35 or 50 euros for installing an MDVI or dash cam. So if I'm a technician in China or in India, I will throw away my job and come to here. So, but that is the cost for the service provider. Mm-hmm. And we have to help them to resolve that. That is why we keep developing convenient tools, mobile apps, and to do very good video compression and the AI technology to make all the operation and maintenance easier and easier.
Yeah, Leon, I do
Yes.
apologize. We do want to move the conversation forward. So thank you. It sounds like Howen is betting the bank on video being the mass market as opposed to niche.
Yes.
We'd like to get some other opinions on what you guys think, whether it will stay a niche or transition to mass market eventually. Whoever wants to take word. Okay, next question.
First of all, Leon, tell me where can you find installers for 35 euros? Please tell me
we
that.
We have evidence here.
45 euros per hour. Not per
Yeah, per hour.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that's
we two
absolutely true.
together go to there.
Yeah, but definitely video is here to stay. I think between staying as a niche product or the other way around, it depends a lot about the projects that will be in the future. It depends a lot about that. It depends also about integrators making it as a bundle service, because there are some obstacles still to overcome when it comes to video telematics, because of the data, because media servers and everything. Not every company is ready to do that, but more and more I think all of us here see that companies are adopting this technology, and it's definitely here to stay, so I don't know, it just depends on the projects that will come to us. And of course we have one big obstacle here in Europe, and that's, let's say, GDPR. I have some experience working in the French market, and I think in that market it's like unimaginable to have cameras. They're very sensitive to that.
Facing the driver specifically, right?
Yeah, the
No
drivers.
problem with the road facing.
Well, GDPR is, let's say, it's still a bit of an open book, and it's still in writing. You know, so some say that is okay, but again, companies don't want to do it because let's say people in their legal are afraid, you know, to take that kind of risk because it's somewhat unclear what's going on. But from what we see, from the growth that we see, we all see, I think, here, the growth. The video is definitely here to stay, and it has a very bright future.
Great. Yeah, it's interesting how you identify some of the roadblocks on the way to becoming more prevalent. Does anybody else want to add? Marius, please.
Very shortly, just to save time. You know, GDPR is kind of sales prevention for video telematics, let's say. Yeah, but firstly, I wanted to thank Alexei because nobody had any questions. It was such a smooth presentation. But I'd like to start from the question. Can you raise the hands who works more than 10 years in telematics business? Out of all the people here. I see just one hand. Two with Alexei's. So if we jump back approximately 12 years ago into a portfolio that Teltonika Telematics had, we had cameras called MVC by the time. And I'd say video telematics by 2010, 2011 was not a niche. Let's say it was not a mass market, but it was a niche because 2G technology did not allow to transmit the videos. Artificial intelligence was not ready. GSM costs were high as hell. Yeah, but we see that from last 5 years, video telematics reborns, and it's gonna be, I suppose, big impact overall for the telematics market as it is right now for upcoming additional 5 years.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys. We'll move on to the next question to just keep the things moving. BLE tags is something that we see on flespi side having a pretty growing demand. So BLE tags enable tracking, right? And certainly that type of tracking is not very precise, and you know, in a way, it's not always on the way the telematics device can provide that always on capability, but it's also a significantly cheaper way to enable tracking, you know, as a service. So I wonder how you guys in your respective companies see that trend. Do you see the relative share of BLE-enabled tracking expanding relative to the traditional telematics? Just if you could elaborate, and I'd like to give an opportunity to Jose and Mindaugas say something first, if you guys would like to comment.
Okay, so if I might say, so we do see growth in this area for sure. We ourselves do not produce beacons, but we do have hardware that can forward all the data to the back end about what beacons it detects around, and we know that lots of our customers are using it for that purpose. And also we have some specific features like trailer detection based on beacons. We're identifying drivers like 4 years ago. I think we released that feature using beacons. So, and it will be more and more use cases in the future, that's for sure.
Jose, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, actually my answer is connecting to what we just heard. So I would like to compare a little bit about the development of the internet, like for instance. At the beginning, you know, during the 90s, the decades, we didn't know what is this new thing called the internet, how will expand, and as of now, it's actually quite embedded in our lifestyle. Right? We cannot conceive right now a solution without without the internet, basically. So something similar can happen with the tracking services and all the devices and how we can develop in the future. So right now, this is something starting. As comparing with the camera as well, the previous question, right now can be maybe more of a niche, but it's not something to be afraid of, but something we need to integrate in the solutions, right? So the idea is basically to match this type of solution, this type of needs that the customer, the market may have, educate them as well, see what is actually the value, and not to perceive as a threat, but something that we can provide you for a different type of situation, different type of markets that may suit you best. So in the end, it's all about the different needs of the different markets. And this is like mentioning before, is a matter of focus on the different regions, right? So, as in South America, for example, this type of solution may be a little bit short-term, in my opinion, compared that right now, safety, for instance, is something much more demanded, right? Safety features is something that every customer in South America will rely on, will depend on. And this is something that maybe the tags right now may not be offering that well. The accuracy of the positioning, as you were mentioning, maybe some extended accessories that may connect it, is something that's still very new. So just to sum it up, is something that, sure, it can have a space in the market, in the portfolio of the products, but it's something that we need to integrate and match perfectly with the customer needs.
Okay, thank you. Do you guys, Marius, Ivan, Leon, do you guys want to add anything to this one?
So, we see into the beacons market as a new niche, which might add additional value to the telematics market overall, because everybody's using beacons for tools tracking, for additional accessories, pallets, and so on in combination with telematics units. But 3 years ago, we decided to design and start producing our own beacons. And if this step wouldn't be taken, so we would consider that it's not something that goes to the future. As we took this decision, so we see it as a potential market, and we may do business with it.
Gotcha. Ivan, you want to add anything, or?
Yeah, just quickly, if you take a look at our portfolio, you can definitely see how we feel about this, because almost every month we introduce some BLE accessory, like a relay or temperature monitoring or door opening. So definitely BLE is something that we need to, we need to understand better in terms of what's coming next. For now, I think we all have very similar approach to BLE, but I think this is about to change, because, as you see our name, Queclink Wireless Solutions. So wireless. Every type of wireless accessory or an added value device, and definitely BLE are one of those. So,
are there any use cases that you can think of that are obviously overlooked when it comes to BLE? Anything from your experience that you see and you think to yourself, okay, this should be really, I should see that much more often out there as far as the implementations that I do. Is there anything that you guys can think of as an example to give to the audience?
I think actually that the, let's say, integrators and end users are not using BLE as much as they could in agriculture. Agriculture. So, connecting the implements on tractors, and after that extracting all the data which you can get, it's massive value. I had the chance to work with some agricultural companies in my previous company, and I noticed how rich data can be obtained by doing such a simple thing.
Thank you.
We
thank
got
you,
some
I don't know if
Morse
it's
signals.
a message for me to do something. I don't understand. So
stop him, Sergey.
So I'm gonna ask one more question, and then I'll see if anybody in the audience would like to ask this guys anything. So the next question is is related to the BLE tag. So tracker as a gateway, right? Going off of that same idea that we started discussing. Tracking device can capture and pass data from external sensors, not necessarily using BLE. Could be RS connection 232, 485. We see, so besides BLE, we see companies trying to connect. I think Alexei gave that example with people just building super custom stuff using ESP32 boards, for example, right? And then, obviously that device would, well, not obviously, but to build it in the cheapest way, it would not have, cellular capabilities, et cetera, right? So tracker is utilized as a gateway to pass data to the server, et cetera, right? Or, with BLE, it could be also TPMS systems, right? Tire pressure monitoring. with the tracker capturing the tire pressure sensor data and passing. So how do you so we're sort of expanding the look at this outside of BLE into kind of this broader space. How do you guys see this as far as your product roadmap to support this type of expanded usage of your devices as gateways to pass data from the external accessory sensors, etc.? Any kind of elaboration would be welcome. Whoever wants to take the word. Mindaugas, please.
Yeah, so it's a very important part of our portfolio. It takes maybe at least half of our profit, those devices that you can use in many different applications that act as data collectors from various interfaces, like you said, mostly CAN bus, RS-232, BLE. So I think others would give a similar opinion.
Leon, please.
Okay. Maybe I'm not shouldn't be the first person to answer, because you also mentioned the tracker as a gateway. Actually, you can change it, tracker or MDVR or dashcam as a gateway.
Okay.
Yes, actually, this is already what we have done for the past decade. All our devices, we have different level of products. The high end and the middle range, it will have more sufficient interfaces, including the Bluetooth, BLE, including the serial, the I/O, the many other interfaces, the CAN bus, OBD, to support all kinds of accessories. And recently, we also have more and more advanced utilizations, including the very expensive TPMS that integrated with our MDVR, already put into bulk implementation. So we think this is a good thing, because we always believe that in one vehicle, there should be only one connectivity. That is enough. That is also, we have changed a lot of the current system. For example, in Africa, previously the total trucks, they have 3 separate systems: a tracker, a DMS system, and a DVR. And we merged them together with one SIM card. So this is already what we have done. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that example. Does anybody else want to add anything? Marius, please.
Yeah, maybe I'll tell one of the use cases that was one of the bizarre use cases, but at least it sounded like that from the beginning. One of our personal trackers was used as a gateway to track oxygen balloons within the surgery. Because when you're missing an oxygen in the surgery room, there's a problem. So the guys were putting Bluetooth beacons on those oxygen balloons to track if all of them are in place or we're missing some, and we need to bring some stock. So one of, I would say, applications, yes, to use for telematics units together with the beacons.
Yeah, interesting. Sounds very unique. Ivan, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention one thing. It's for us as hardware manufacturers, it's not always, easy to integrate all new stuff that comes along. I think that's important to say, because you have more and more new accessories. They can be BLE, they can be, connected to RS-232 CAN bus or whatever. But, I think also everybody needs to acknowledge the effort that we do, to connect all this, to our trackers, and then to send it on some platform. Sometimes it's not easy to do because of the various protocols and different manufacturers. It can be a tremendous amount of work for us, but yet again we understand that all accessories are basically enablers for sales and for using actually the telematics device as a gateway.
Okay, thank you, Ivan. Yeah, from certainly we recognize, and I think most people recognize that there's an integration effort on the hardware side first and foremost to get those use cases enabled. From flespi, I would just add something that Alexei touched upon, but very briefly. There was not much emphasis on it. But if there's a binary payload coming from that external accessory through device payload, you can essentially, it's automatically placed into a payload hex parameter in flespi, and you can use PVM tools without even involving us and normalize and parse it, especially if you are, guys, the developers of that accessory that you use the tracker as a gateway to pass. Okay, so I'd like to ask the audience now if anybody wants to ask a question of this panel.
I have a question.
Please, George.
Okay, so as we...
Yeah, can we have a microphone, please?
That's okay, I can stand up and speak.
No, we'll need a microphone. Sorry, George.
There is none. Okay, so
Okay.
everybody knows that right now is an AI revolution, and it disrupts like all the businesses around the world. It's interesting, how does it disrupt IoT production industries, and what is your prediction of how does the data that people obtain over like the sensors, which is IoT devices installed in like various cases, how do you think it will change the flow of the information? And on the top of that, it's also a 5G network that extends the bandwidth of the information that could be globally exchanged. What is your thoughts? How does AI and 5G will impact on IoT device market?
That's a loaded question. Who wants to take it?
So maybe I'll go first. So for now, at least for basic tracking, and for tracking as we understand now, 5G will not be a significant factor, at least for now, until the 4G networks are available. Maybe it will have when we have this non-terrestrial network finally working, in narrowband. It will enable more wide applications of asset tracking. Regarding AI, of course, it will touch more the video. It might not affect that much the tracking as we understand now. Maybe the edge computing will be more advanced, that's for sure. But yeah, AI would certainly affect video much more.
Okay, Leon, I think you wanted to add
so
some.
great. Actually, thank you for the question. Actually, 5G and AI is quite a two big topic, quite related to video, because 5G enables a larger bandwidth. Even though now the current bandwidth of the 4G is already quite enough with the AI, and we will care more about the coverage of the base stations, how to make it available for a business level of implementation of the connectivity. And secondly is the AI. I believe maybe among all these five, we are the only one that doesn't produce trackers. We only focus on videos from the very beginning. So we are the first who would like to embrace AI. And because in our latest changes of the product portfolios, and we also are trying to put our products as much as possible predictive. Previously, the video is kind of afterward evidence, but actually, any drivers are not to be blamed. Any accidents is to be prevented predictively. So this is also one of our focuses as our product strategies. Thank you.
Okay, so leveraging AI for prediction as opposed to just detection. Jose, please.
Yeah. Just to comment on the 5G mostly, as was mentioned as well, the 5G is still something on the long run, I would say, to implement. Because one thing is that from the mobile networks communication is already more developed, more mature right now. But for 4G, for example, is still the main trend in the market. In some countries as well, like in Asia, in South America, Africa, etc. Of course, the 4G networks is still not even completely deployed now to start thinking about the 5G. It's something that will eventually come, for sure, because of the advantage that can have for video telematics, for instance. It will require higher consumption of data, but it's something still that needs some time to fully mature in the market. Yeah.
Besides video, just a quick as a follow-up to that. Besides video, are there any other areas within telematics space which could obviously benefit from the increased bandwidth of 5G? Do you guys feel, or do you think that video is that really the only area that would benefit from it?
Maybe I'll shock the public by saying this surprise, how 5G will impact telematics market. It will increase prices in hardware. Yeah, but that's normal. New generation modules and so on. Everybody needs to earn their money. I think a couple of months ago, JCB was first one to do a demonstration how over 5G they can control remotely their tractor. Anybody saw this video? No, so JCB showed how telematics unit installed within a tractor allow engineer remotely control it without being present within the tractor. So that's one of the applications that may impact the market, but as well, increasing amount of data going through the ECUs of the vehicle needs a higher transmission rates to send the data to the servers to analyze the data and so on, and where AI jumps in. So for sure, AI will impact this market, and if a company did not start to use AI yet, so you are already late for the market.
So it almost sounds like turning a telematics device into a remote control module inside that vehicle or whatever it is.
For specific use cases,
yeah?
I would say so.
Interesting. Okay, very good. So we're almost out of time. So the last thing that I'd like to ask, or give you guys an opportunity to say if you have anything that you would like to publicly share as far as your roadmap, interesting, compelling products coming down the pike. If you can share anything, please use this opportunity to do so. Whoever wants to take that.
Only me?
Marius?
Okay. So I don't want to steal your show for today, so we're going to do a presentation on 25th of September, and if you'd like to know more what we're going to present, so we got flyers on the booth. So just jump in and take one.
Okay, 25th of September till 20th, something's happening. Leon?
Okay, yes, just one point to add, because I see the team sitting there. Actually, we already have released new products by this time on our stand. Everybody have seen it, but I see the team of Alexei, Evgeny, Yang, and Alexander and Yuri. The point is, just now, 20 minutes back, Evgeny told me that he's already attracted by our new dashcam 100%. So the guys who integrated this one into flespi of Howen's dashcam already love it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, a little love story, okay.
Bromance.
Jose, please.
So this device we have is actually not quite new. It's more like an improvement. It's like for the solar tracker. Right now we have this top of the, I would say, most common solutions, because first you can occupy the energy both internal battery and solar energy source, but also it would be, as discussing at the gateway, right? One of the most important products, I would say, when it comes to use trackers as a gateway to connect different sensors, Bluetooth sensors in this case. Yeah, like the temperature, humidity, light sensor, door opening, etc. That's discussed before.
Gotcha. Thank you, Jose. Ivan?
Yeah, well, we are busy as always. You've seen that we entered the video telematics game, probably the last ones here, but no. Sorry, I said probably. Sorry, but we joined this game also, and we are also into routers now. This is also new for us. So yeah, we've been very busy. If someone wants to have a look, please later come and see our booth. And we are also working on making our interface more user-friendly. This is an important topic for us. Our managed tool to be more simple and to be easier to use for our clients. So yeah, we have a bunch of things going on.
Excellent.
Yeah, from our side, it's not a revolution, it's just constant evolution. So one of the main things we were working on and releasing at the end of this month and shipping for selected clients is this OBD dongle. You will be able to order it at the end of the month. And yeah, a not so interesting, boring topic. There was an organizational changes in Ruptela. So hardware team is now a separate company from the software team. So software team is now called Linko, and the hardware company is remained under the same brand, Ruptela. So that's just shortly about our organizational structure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Let's give these folks a round of applause, taking time. Thank you. Thank you for your insights.